Welcome to the Whiskey Chasers, where we talk about our passion for whiskey and its history, either amongst ourselves or while interviewing distilleries, all while enjoying a glass. I'm Steve.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Chris.
Please enjoy responsibly while enjoying this week's episode of the Whiskey Chasers. All right, what are we drinking? What's it called? Cardhu?
Cardhu.
12.
Why does that sound like an old aftershave?
Cardhu?
It does sound like an old Irish.
Like from like something that was right? There was totally something that was like that. But
Caribou.
No, Cardhu. It was
I wasn't thinking of something real. It just sounded like something that would be an old.
It does sound like something, but then it reminded me of when I was a kid. I used to get like really fancy aftershave from my grandpa or something, and I can't remember now what that was called. I'm gonna have to look it up. It would come in a really fancy box. They had pins too. I got a set of pins one time, like metal pins. Yeah, wasn't Cardhu, but it was something like that.
Cardhu.
Cardhu. But it sounds more. Well, I guess it sounds like Scotch. Kind of sounds French too.
It sounds a little Frenchy, but it definitely has some Scotch-like sounds to it.
Scotch-esque.
Yeah.
Sounds. Cardhu.
What is it?
Pierre Cardin.
Pierre Cardin.
That's
okay.
what it was. Sorry.
Cardhu Cardin. That's
Cardhu
close.
Cardin. Yeah. It is very close.
Yeah.
There's a story behind this bottle that I would love Ryan to share at some point. But when he first had me try
Ryan's
this,
on the podcast with us.
Yes,
today.
by the way, Ryan is on.
He's contemplating the bottle in the box right now.
Cardhu does mean black rock.
Black Rock.
Yeah, that's what it means in Gaelic. It's been around for a long time because it's Scotch, so of course it has. It's Speyside, and now they're owned by Diageo. It is the main Speyside part of Johnnie Walker.
This is.
Yeah, this is.
So this is still Johnnie Walker.
This is yeah.
Well, it's still owned by Diageo.
Yeah, still owned by Diageo.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this part of Johnnie Walker?
Yeah, this is the primary ingredient from Speyside region in Johnnie Walker. Well, Cardhu is not necessarily the 12, but yeah, Cardhu is a big ingredient in Johnnie Walker today.
There's very few scotches that are being brought into the U.S. quality scotches that don't have they're not owned by that brand.
By Diageo.
From Diageo,
They have their hands in like almost every one of them that's coming in that's of quality.
A lot of them, yeah.
Well, I guess Brown-Forman has theirs now. Beam Suntory has theirs, which is Lafroig. And then pretty much everything else, I think, is owned by Diageo, except for like the no-namers.
Yeah, I was going to say except for the small ones.
Yeah.
But everyone else that are in big name bottles for blends are probably from Diageo.
You said this is a Speyside? It's a little flavorful for a Speyside.
Am I wrong?
I thought for sure this was from the Highland region, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm taking a quick look at the box here to see if it says anything. But I don't know where Morayshire is.
Yeah. Their website says they're Speyside.
This is
But I
probably
agree,
one of the
they're
most flavorful Speysides I've had in a while.
Yeah.
It's even darker than most of them. And it's a 12-year. So as far as Cardhu goes, is this it? Or
No.
No. They
Okay.
have a whole lineup. They're all just called Cardhu.
Cardhu with
Yeah.
different age statements
Yep.
and whatnot.
In different colors.
Is that their low? that's
I've
probably
seen
the
one
lowest
other-
age.
I don't think it's
Besides
the
this.
lowest one. They have an 11-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old.
They got 3 kids, huh?
They got 3 kids.
You don't see 11 in Scotch very often.
You know what's interesting?
Or 14. Well, you usually see 14.
You start to see
something.
11 a lot more now.
Yeah.
Like Lagavulin doing 11, but 11 is only their celebrity endorsed. It's Nick Offerman's is
It's
11 years
weird
old.
that they have 11 and a 12.
Yeah, I know. That is weird.
You know what this does remind me of? Glenlivet.
Yeah.
Like that's the only other Speyside Scotch that I'm like I can drink and I have something behind it. Like
It's like
there's
Glenlivet, but there's more barrel to it.
barrel to this.
Yeah, because this is darker for one.
It's more dark berry.
It's just a little bit more viscous than Glenlivet. But I do like Glenlivet. As far as the Speysides go, that's probably the one that I would say would be my go-to.
It's
now
flavorful,
for
but
Speysides.
it's more like floral for
Yeah,
for
it is more
Speyside.
floral. This is more
like
oak heavy.
oak and berry.
You mentioned this was very fruity. Apparently, that is at least partially due to the water in that area. It's high up on the Mannoch Hill above the River Spey due to the peat softening the water. So the mossy peat in the area apparently softens the water, so it's less of a hard water. And that's supposed to add like a more fruity kind of flavor to it.
I could see less irony. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like less metallic-y.
Softer water,
Yeah.
more fruit. Yeah,
Right.
that makes sense.
That makes
Really?
sense.
It sounds so weird to me.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, like peat's not fruity. Where does that fruit come from?
I was totally just kidding. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm like, I'm the only one missing it here.
I think this is very scientific.
if I was water and I had peat, like I'd probably be more hard than soft. You know what I mean? I'm exciting water. I'm not flaccid. You know?
If the peat is acting as like a filter to it, then it's removing the hard minerals, which would make it softer, and then that would I don't know why that would make it fruitier.
Yeah, you think that would kind of remove flavor.
Yeah.
But so think about Iron Vault. We talked about water. And he talked about how they use city water for the mash, like when they're doing the mashing. And they need the minerals, and it's hard, like really hard, hardy water, like very irony, there's lots going on in the water. But they can't cut the barrel down with city water. They have to use reverse osmosis water. I feel like if that's the case, so in America, we use our city water, or we use stuff that comes up from limestone springs or whatever. It's all very hardy water. And all of our stuff is very hardy urbans, like very heavy. What if that has something to do with water? Like even a little part?
This is probably going to create a tangent, and you can decide whether or not to leave this all in
Okay,
or not.
good.
But
I feel like it's a good tangent.
Widow Jane. Do you know why Widow Jane is called Widow Jane?
Because it sucks.
That one got it right.
She lost all her gumption after her husband died.
Her husband.
That was almost a spit take.
That was the best she could produce. So her husband said, "No, we're done."
So Widow
She's now the Widow Jane.
Widow
Ending
Jane
it
is
all.
made in New York, and they're
Produced in New York?
Well, so that's what I mean. There's a creek near there, and that's what they use to cut their whiskey.
Yeah.
So
They take that water all the way to MGP and cut it.
I know, right?
I'm just kidding. Actually,
they bring them.
Heaven Hill owns it now.
They
so
do.
I don't
Yes,
know
but
if
they're not
actually-
changing that.
Well, I heard that they weren't changing it, but maybe
I'm
now they
guessing
do.
they're probably bringing the barrels to them and then cutting it there. But yeah, so but that came up recently. I heard that in a podcast, and I was
Well,
like,
that would be hilarious.
We just got done talking to Iron Volt about if you're going to cut it, you're going to use reverse osmosis, and that's what we're going to do. And then to hear, these guys
Are special.
cutting.
Yeah.
But
with
you never explained why it's Widow Jane.
that's the name of the creek or whatever that's right there near.
So the real question is, why is the creek named Widow Jane?
yeah, I'm guessing because her husband died.
Oh,
Jane's
she
husband
died in
died.
the creek.
Probably died in the creek.
Holy hell!
And that's why they can use the water?
That's it, because it's drowned. It's her sorrows were drowned. In the,
Yes, her tears
in
and
the creek,
everything.
yeah.
Yes, that's the reverse osmosis was her tears.
That's what reverse osmosis is.
That's exactly what it is.
Tears.
Yeah, that's where you get all those minerals from her tears.
That's exactly. Man, we solved the world's problem right there. But what is interesting is, so they say the berry fruitiness comes from the water. 99% of Speyside is going to be like very like berry, like floral fruity.
Here's my thing about this. And maybe it's not all marketing, but we've talked about this before in the podcast. Scotland's not huge. There's a whole lot of distilleries in Scotland.
How do they survive?
Are you telling me this is the one random spot in Scotland that's got like the peat growing and no other one is doing this? You know what I'm saying?
To be fair, Lafroig and Lagavulin got into a fight over their water source, and Lafroig won out. Lagavulin tried to block it so they couldn't get their water source, and the government was like, "Nope, sorry, buddy, you
So now they
can't,
use the
can't
same
do that."
water source. They're two vastly different scotches. So proves my point that is it really come on, there's not that much different water in Scotland.
So with that, we're going to come back around to the water here in a second because they're not at the same location anymore. They're very close by, but they're not on top of the hill anymore. Where
They're not on top of the mountain.
The whole reason for the
the
thing.
reason that they just settled in this area was because of this peat stream kind of deal. They have since moved, and they moved shortly after they opened just because they got big. But somebody else owns it now. This is back in 1824 that this all started. A couple, Helen Cummings and John Cummings. Helen was actually the primary distiller. She was the one that was doing the distilling. This is during that time when there's lots of tax collecting and a lot of bootlegging and stuff going on in Scotland. So they're not legal at this point. So she, because she was a nice housewife, she'd see the revenuers or whatever
With a
coming
name like
up.
that, she'd have to be.
Yeah. She would see the revenuers coming and she'd throw flour on herself and just say she was baking because the smell and everything of the distillation's going on. This is the way to cover that up. She'd then invite them in for tea. She'd throw out a flag out her door to let the rest of the people around know that, hey, these guys are in the area.
She was
Get
entertaining
yourself-
the tax people.
Yeah.
How
And-
dumb
and
do you have to
government-
be to not understand the kitchen to think that flour smells just like
Oh, well, it
distillation?
might
She's
have-
baking.
Let's be
And
honest.
so it's a baking smell. That's
it might
the
have
same
just been
smell.
the ruse to get him inside.
Right.
It might not have what kept him busy. She was a good
She
wife.
was still married. So
You got to do what you got to do for the family.
right now they grew and they decided it was time to move on, and they moved to a different location, just like down the road, not too far away. But the Grants brothers bought the location, and it's now the home of Glenfiddich.
Oh, I was like, why do I know
Yeah.
Grant? Yeah.
So that's where Glenfiddich is now housed.
And that's why
Yes.
theirs now taste like berries because of the water.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, so they're making Glenfiddich in the same place they're making Cardhu?
Or
No.
making Cardhu.
Previously. So Cardhu started there. They sold it to the Grant
Oh, I
family
see.
and moved.
But here's the thing: I would never associate Glenfiddich with the same notes as this.
Well, this is no longer made of the same water. So this is it has changed since then. That's the reason that they got that original spot.
I've never said fruity from Glenfiddich.
No, I'm trying to think of what I've said about Glenfiddich.
I haven't had Glenfiddich in a really long time, so I couldn't really tell you.
I drink a lot of Glenfiddich.
But
Are they the ones that do the fire and cane?
yeah,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. They got the deer, the antler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Green bottle for their standard, and they got good stuff. But I never thought it was fruity.
No, I don't know that I ever. Well,
So
except for
it's just marketing. But there is something going on here that's kind of fruity.
So they sold that to them in 1885. 1893, they sold to Johnnie Walker with the understanding that the Cummings family was going to continue to operate it. So the family continued to run it until 1925 when they joined the distillers company, and from there went to Guinness and then Diageo.
So this is made at the same place as Johnnie Walker, but it's made
This
by
is
the Cummings
put
family.
into Johnnie Walker.
Yeah,
yes.
this is like the heavy.
This is a heavy
the
part
base,
of the
yeah.
Speyside section of Johnnie Walker.
But this bottle's got a story. That's why we have Ryan.
Yeah,
I was like, Ryan, you gotta
where did
save this.
Bottle come from?
Yeah, where'd this body come from?
Where did this body come from?
Let's not talk
What's
about
happening
Let's
over
talk about
here?
the body. Who killed Mr. Body in the library with a lead pipe? Colonel Mustard, you son of a bitch.
Well, I picked this up in Spain last summer. My wife and I went to Spain to spend a week on the Camino de Santiago, or the Way of St. James, and then a few days in Barcelona at the end. For those who don't know, the Way of St. James is a pilgrimage route that has been used since the early Middle Ages. There's like a whole network of pilgrimage routes, but the main one is called the French Way. It starts in France and then goes south over the Pyrenees Mountains and then west along the north of Spain in the Galicia region. And if you do the whole thing, you'd be out there for 30 some days. But we did the last, like, probably most popular bit for people who don't have that kind of time to spend. You have to go 100 kilometers on the Camino in order to get a certificate of completion. And so people typically start in a town called Sarria and then go west through a series of towns till you get to Santiago de Compostela, which is the city where they believe they have the bones of St. James the Apostle. So in the medieval period, there were three major pilgrimage places: Rome, Jerusalem, and Santiago. So yeah, we were out there 5 or 6 days. Our shortest day was 12 miles. Our longest day was 17 miles. And it was quite an experience. It was really, really cool. But I think on our second or third day, we stopped in a town called Palace de Rey, and we found our hostel and then went out to get some food. But we were so exhausted and our feet were hurting and everything. We were sore. We were like, let's just get some like fruit and lunch meat and go back to the hostel and just eat there. They had like a balcony area with a few tables out there. So we'll just eat there and crash because it was such a long day. And so I went into this little grocery store, picked up a few things to eat, and then I saw this on the shelf behind the cash register, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. And I think this was somewhere around 40 pounds.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
What is that in American?
Euros, not pounds.
What is that, like $60?
So I would,
We got an
Maybe-
account, like a tax
maybe.
accountant over
You know
here.
what
He's
though?
like looking
I'm okay with not knowing because we were just spending euros like dollars. So
I thought you'd have that conversion on the top of your head, Steve.
I don't do a lot of European returns. It's pretty close. It's $46.
Oh, all
In
right.
American,
So,
so not bad.
basically, a euro is a dollar.
Mhm. All right. Yeah, it's not bad.
anyway, I saw it up there on the shelf and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. Wouldn't it be cool to bring back a bottle of scotch, that you can't get where I'm from,
Right.
And I don't know that this is sold in the US at all.
This particular bottle probably isn't because it's a 700. This is
I was going
European.
to ask that. 700 mil. Yeah.
Well, that sucks because I was just about to ask. Like, I've never seen this before. Like, can we get it? Because this is really good. That's a fantastic deal for 40 euros or
Yeah.
pesos,
46 bucks.
Euro.
Yeah.
dinero.
Yeah. So this has a special memory tied to it for me, for sure. I doubt I'll ever hike the Camino again. So yeah, this is a special find for me. And I thought you guys might be excited to try it too. Of course, I'd never heard of it before, so I didn't know if it was good. And looking at the label now, where there's like the silhouette of Elizabeth Cummings with her flag, it does look like the Johnnie Walker
Yeah, it does.
style.
stole it from them.
But I didn't make that connection at all. So, and I didn't have a chance to even look at the box before I bought it. I just pointed at it. And
Well, even the label is different.
Yeah.
It shows you how many drinks are in a bottle.
23.
Do you see this?
Yeah, there's
23
23,
drinks.
23 ounces in there.
According to the people that did this label, 30 milliliters is about the size of a glass of alcohol.
Which comes out to an ounce.
10 grams of alcohol equals 67 kcal. I'm guessing that's calories.
I don't know what kcal is. Kinetic
Or 100
calories?
milliliters equals 91.9 k / 22.2 kcal, whatever. But no drinking and no pregnancy. It says right there. It shows a picture.
It shows
You see that?
picture just in case.
It shows a pregnant lady with a circle and a line through it. And then it shows a car with a circle and a line through it. Then it shows 23 glasses inside the bottle. That's interesting.
Well, I am glad that they have the art there.
I
the
really
pictures.
like this.
That way, because who wants to read? When you had too much to drink,
Well, you never know
how
what
good are you at
language
reading?
Can I have this one?
Yeah. It's like they don't know what language people are going to speak that buy it
I know.
either. So it works. But I like that. It's kind of cool. 23. I would have gotten like 15.
That's 23
Well, how big
ounces.
is your glass?
That's what I
That's
mean,
the
yeah.
question.
I think my glasses are too big.
They're saying you have an ounce in a glass that's 23 ounces.
I really like this. I like the shape of the bottle, but the flavor's fantastic.
It is. It's a really pretty bottle. When you were hiking this trail, were you like backpacking or were you, or like was stuff just kind of spread around for the pilgrimage or how
Were you
how does
staying
that
in
kinda work?
hostels or were you camping out or?
Were you fighting bums, bears?
No. So a lot of people, we did have backpacks. We also had suitcases that we had. They have a system for like registering your bags or whatever, and then they'll take your bags. Like I think it might be the postal service comes along and picks up your bags and drops them off at the next hostel that you have
Like same day?
listed.
Yeah.
They're more efficient than the U.S. Post Service.
Yeah, I guess. Well, so
Parcel.
since this has been
Yeah,
around
parcel
for
delivery.
like 1,000 years, they've got the system down pretty solid. So a lot of people will just backpack and stop and stay in wherever they can find whatever hostel still has space for them that night, wherever they feel like too tired to keep going. They just stop there. But we did not fly by the seat of our pants like that. We wanted to make sure that we had rooms every night. And then one thing for me is
Showers
I
and
have
toilets.
sleep apnea now. So I needed to know, like, I was going to have a bed with an electrical outlet where I could plug it in and I'd be able to actually
Did you have to
sleep.
get an adapter? Because your
Yeah.
electrical stuff's over there is different, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we had reservations at hostels in each of the towns that we stopped at. So on one hand, the pressure was on because you had to get there because that's where your stuff was. Yeah. And that a couple of times was a big deal. The morning we started our 17-mile day, I could barely walk. I was getting blisters or hot spots on my feet, and like the tendons or muscles in my ankle and calf were like seizing up. So for like the first 45 minutes that day, I was limping along and just like praying so hard. And then about 45 minutes in, it loosened up and I was able to do the rest of the day without too much pain. But yeah, I was a little concerned that day. I'm like, this is the longest day and I can barely move. Are we going to get to our next hostel? That made me a little nervous.
And no one comes to pick you up.
Well, okay, there are a lot of different ways you can do it. We actually met a couple who were staying at a hotel and they had, like, somebody would drive them out to like a trailhead spot and they would hike, like they would do their, 12 miles and then someone would pick them up at the end of that and take them back to the hotel. So they were walking the whole thing in segments, but always had a ride back to the same hotel in the evening. So there are all kinds of different ways you can do it. I'm sure there's some snobby purists out there who look down on that sort of thing, but it's what you need.
Yeah. It's probably like the Appalachian Trail or any of those big, long trails like that. There are like the people that live there know about it.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like lots of people around to move you about.
Yeah, there's a whole culture.
Everybody's
A whole
kind of
culture,
in
culture
on it.
developed around it.
Whether
so
you want to
There's lots of
use a
hitchhiking
tent
and stuff
or
that's
hitchhike
okay.
or get a ride, or everybody's aware of what's going on. Can you imagine doing the 30-day one? What would your feet would be like?
yeah, you gotta make sure you've got some shoes that are broken in.
Did you bring some good shoes, or did you just kind of tennis shoe it up and that was it?
Well, I had some hiking boots and they were comfortable. I haven't worn them a ton, but I've worn them on hikes and they've been comfortable. But the thing is, you find out after, a 10-mile, walk period that like, oh, I guess they're not broken in as much as I thought, because then you start getting these hot spots. Yeah. And I had some like blister, they're like called Compeed. They're like blister patches that are kind of like gel patches that you put on. And those were okay, but I was still having trouble. And then I did have my regular tennis shoes with me as well. Eventually, I just switched to the regular tennis shoes that I wear, and it was completely fine, and it was comfortable. And I also found out another guy on the trail was like, don't use those Compeed things. Use medical tape. So like, there's like it's like the cushiony, soft medical tape, and not like the duct tape type of medical tape. But yeah, you wrap that. It's the best. Like and the stuff. Yeah, it's better than the products that are made specially for that sort of thing. At least in those conditions where I don't know, probably the other stuff would be fine if you were, had an office job or something like that. But on a mission, when you're on a mission like that, it's the medical tape that's the good stuff. So anyway, we had our bags transported ahead of us to every place that we stayed, and most of the rooms were pretty simple. I think we only had air conditioning in one of them the whole time, but there was one night that we had like a nicer place. These guys, like a group of like 3 friends, decided to open this up, and they had like like this very small limited menu there, but it was like Prince style, like sort of artisanal, gourmet stuff. Man, that meal was so good. And I actually had a smoked cheesecake there, which was fantastic. I think I texted you guys at that point and said, like, dare I say, this is Prince level.
We just need to have him make the smoked cheesecake.
Yeah, we need to request that sometime. It was so good. But yeah, it was a good trip. And then you end up in Santiago, and there's a big cathedral there, and they've got a statue of St. James that you can hug. When you get there, it's like a traditional thing for the pilgrims to go up and hug it. And below the statue, like in the, I don't know, undercroft or basement, they've got the ossuary where James's bones are supposed to be. It was really cool. But like during the day, we'd get up, we'd hike a couple hours, stop at like a little cafe that's like right there on the trail for like coffee and a, scone or something, hike a few more hours, stop for lunch. Along the way, there are like little chapels and churches. And sometimes you're going through the countryside. Sometimes you're going through little towns. Sometimes you're walking through somebody's farm, going in between their barns. Sometimes you're in a city, weaving between houses and stuff like that, or going down the major street. But yeah, all these little churches and stuff along the way. So you can stop in, and you got a pilgrim passport where you get stamps for like the different places you stopped that kind of proves that you did it, that you're actually there. And so you could stop and, get out of the sun, get a little drink of water, sit down for a minute, pray a little bit, hit the road again. It was really, really cool. Not quite what I expected, but still like really, really good. And I think that it has actually given me some stuff to think about that I hope will continue to color my life from here on out. So it was really cool.
Did you bring a pipe while you were there? I think you said you did some roll your own.
Yep.
But you brought a pipe too?
Yep. I brought a couple of pipes and bought some RYO there.
Was there a lot of smoking going on there, or not so much? You never know with European areas, like.
Yeah.
Well,
most of the time they smoke more, but usually it's cigarettes and stuff more than pipes.
Yeah. On the Camino, so like when we would stop for lunch, I would typically smoke RYO then, and when at the evening at the hostel, then I'd bust out the pipes.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense.
So I don't know if I saw a ton of people, but so after we completed the Camino, we stayed in Santiago a couple of days, and then we went to Barcelona for 3 days. And in Barcelona, definitely a lot of people smoking. Yeah. So, so that was cool. You don't feel out of place,
Yeah, right.
Like, we're just gonna sit on this park bench and just like enjoy the view.
Well, it's probably a lot more.
And have a smoke.
If it's more prevalent, there's probably more like variety that you can buy in a store and things like that. And it's always interesting going in different like countries that you're not used to being around and seeing the differences and what you see there versus like America and whatnot.
Yeah, and I was happy that I could find RYO there. Because you just never know. And like if I go in and all I see is like factory made cigarettes, I'm like, nah.
Yep, no thanks.
Like I don't really care about that. So but yeah, found some RYO and papers and all that. I'm pretty sure I had to smoke them without a filter.
Yeah.
They didn't always have filters,
Yeah. So this is a pretty good whiskey. Like it's really especially for the price. The fact that it's $46, €46, $46. That's a really good price for any Scotch.
And for a 12-year-old.
For any Scotch, for a 12-year-old Scotch especially.
For a 12-year-old.
But a 12-year-old single malt. That's the other thing. But this is not a blended.
Yeah.
So for a single malt 12-year-old for $46,
right.
That's fairly
pretty
good deal.
good.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of flavor too. It
does. Yeah, it's very for a Speyside especially. It's got a little bit more of that flavor to it. And again, I don't know if that's just like me not thinking about Speyside being flavorful, but this has that like fruitiness, but also like a flower field almost like kind of thing. Like there's like field notes or whatever, but not like
Like
a farm.
wildflowers.
Yeah.
It reminds me almost of like spring honey
Yeah.
versus like a fall honey. Like
Right.
this is
A little bit thinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is just like my mouth after having a little pipe and stuff, but does this drink a little bit hotter than 80 proof to you? Like, I mean, I feel like it drinks hotter than things like Famous Grouse and
I think that's because
Cuddy Sark.
I
and
don't
stuff.
think it's hot, but I do think that there's some more barrel spice in here than like it's more oak barrel heavy. You know what I mean? Whatever they're using to age that in. It's just you don't usually get scotches that dark for one thing, but it does have more wood in it, which I think can make you feel like it's proof, but it's just more.
Yeah, it's not. I would say it's not. It doesn't strike me as a lot, just enough to notice that there's something more going on than just Cuddy.
Yeah,
But something's happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely got a lot more flavor than Cuddy.
Though after tasting this, I do feel like I get a lot of Johnnie Walker off the flavor.
Yeah, just not like a non-blended Johnnie Walker
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Because
Like what Johnnie Walker could be like if it was not
Right.
blended, kind of.
Right, but more of like the Johnnie Walker black and like below.
Black or the double black?
Not double black is better. Yeah, the double
black's
black
my-
has something
it's my
different.
favorite Johnnie Walker.
Johnnie Walker black and below, and it's like this is Johnnie Walker. Like it has that quintessential. I don't know if this is the quintessential Johnnie Walker flavor, or if Johnnie Walker is the quintessential flavor for Cardhu. If that makes sense. Like I
Which
couldn't
came
tell you
first,
what.
the chicken or the
Yeah,
egg?
exactly. Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, the box copy skips a couple of the steps that Steve mentioned. This just says that when Elizabeth retired, she entrusted her cherished Cardhu to John Walker and Sons.
I do appreciate the entrusted
Yeah, entrusted. It makes it sound like this
Yeah.
is what.
started that.
This is the base recipe. This is the thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Which I mean, this is like 1890 something is when that happened.
Was
So-
Johnnie Walker already distilling like
Oh.
parallel
So Johnny-
to this, or did Johnnie Walker
So
start because
Johnnie
they had
Walker and
this?
Sons never actually distilled anything.
They used to source their stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Johnnie
blended
Walker and
it.
Sons were essentially
Yeah.
drugstore owners that
Yeah.
they
Oh,
blended. They would
right.
buy
They
in a bunch of
blended
stuff and
something,
blend.
blend their
yeah.
own things.
Yep. I forget what those are called. There's a specific name for that.
Posers?
People that acquire and blend.
Oh.
And so.
No.
Church than R.
Yeah. I don't. I think of drugstore owners when I think of it, but like Irish whiskey was
not
big
the one I'm
in
thinking
it
of.
for
Thinking of a
too.
different word.
Blended Scotch was big
Yeah.
in it too.
This Prince Albert's actually going pretty well with the Scotch.
It is. So yeah, we're smoking Prince Albert with this. It wasn't necessarily a pairing. It's just our only option. We're in a slightly different location than normal.
We had to record in a different.
Right.
Yes, slightly different.
This is my road tobacco.
Yeah, this is your car
you take
box.
that big tin with you
Yeah,
on the road?
I've got like a 32 ounce tin of
Just a giant
I
container
just
of
love
Prince
that's
Albert.
my road. That's my road container.
I'm smoking Prince Albert in an Escorty pipe.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is also funny. It's like
But,
like a $350 pipe and a cheap. But Prince Albert is anything but a cheap tobacco, in my opinion.
I was gonna say
it's good.
It adds. This might be the first time I've ever experienced this with Prince Albert, and it could be the blend of the nose, like the smell with the flavor of the Scotch.
Yeah.
But that comes across more peppery, like
Peppery?
cracked
Okay.
pepper.
It's a burley based blend with a little bit of Virginias, and then it's got a very slight cocoa topping.
Okay.
As far as I know, that is all really good. There might be some more things in there, but for the most part, it's a very straightforward tobacco.
But this might be the first time ever that I've gotten like pepper on the nose
Pepper,
from it.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
And I don't know if it's from the Scotch, like the pairing.
This is like when everybody talks about their grandpa smoking pipes. This is one of those blends that, for the most part, is what the smell brings you to that. And a lot of people use this in roll your own Prince Albert. It's not overly anything. I think it would be pretty good for that. It might be a little thick. You might have to like maybe shag it up. If you have it in a can, you can let him out. It's good. I will say though, in my opinion, for me, Carter Hall is the top choice
of the
as far
bulk,
as the over the counter codger bulk blends. It's just a little bit more hard burly. It's a little bit, I don't want to say harsher. It's a little bit more hardcore. Flavors are a little bit more tobacco. Not that this isn't, but it's a little bit.
It's
like
mild.
a manly man's version of this, It's good. I like Carter Hall.
For the Johnnie Walker question, Johnnie Walker started also in 1820s, right around there is when they started buying up doing their blending and everything, which is when this originally started. Johnnie Walker bought this company in 1893. So about 70 or so years later is when this was bought. So they had already kind of probably figured out a little bit of what they were doing by that point. But Johnnie Walker is Highland. And so this is just the Speyside sourcing of that. So
I would like to think that this is the distillery that contributed the base flavor profile to Johnnie Walker.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a good idea.
I like that
we're
story.
going to go with that.
That's the story I want to hear.
Yeah, this bottle it's a cool story. We've talked before about memories along with bottles, and it's always good to have a cool story around how you get a bottle and where it came from. And sometimes that's more important than even the liquid inside. And this time you got lucky and the liquid was good too.
Yeah.
So,
So if we think about it, this is our second bottle that we've had from overseas of Scotch. Because we had one with
Micah.
Micah.
yeah,
Thank you.
that's right. He brought his from
Yeah.
Ireland,
I kept saying
from
Ryan in my head. I was like, Ryan's here.
Yeah, Micah.
So
What did he bring?
he brought Glenfiddich. It's a very recognizable bottle, but what he brought was their cuvee finish. And that we can't get. That is only sold over there. And I bring that up to say, this could be just in my head, but I feel like there's a noticeable difference in flavor between what we can get over there and what we get here. And it could just be in my head.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a difference in quality between that and this.
We'd have to try a bottle that we can get here and try the bottle that we got there and the bottle we got here and see if there's any difference.
Oh man. You don't think they really change it up for
I don't know that they would change it up, but
Overseas
here's
sale.
why I wonder if it's different. So if you look at whiskey, American bourbon, there are companies that are no longer around that they literally only existed to distribute to Europe and to other countries. There's one that I got to try. So this is the bottle that I got to try in Texas.
Old Red Fox.
But it was a company that only existed to distribute out to
thick neck.
yeah. It was
The
only
size
to
of it?
distribute out to Europe.
I think we came across this once for maybe it was Scotch, where it was like the distributor was on the European side and only distributed to the US. You couldn't actually buy whatever it was they were selling locally. But yeah, I can't remember what that was.
I vaguely remember talking about that. Where you couldn't actually get like what the local thing would be, but you could get like a selected form or whatever.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Jim Beam has bottles they just ship out there. Four Roses has one that only goes out there, platinum, I think it is, which is like a special one that they only release out there.
Well, Blanton's
So-
Gold was like that for a minute.
Yeah,
Now
which makes me wonder, like, okay, if we do that, then are there similarities of companies over there doing the same thing, where it's not necessarily it feels different in quality because it's a different flavor, or they may do something slightly different for bottles that come over here because we would like it different from what they prefer. You know what I mean? Like they have a certain palate that they prefer versus us, kind of thing. Like they don't do. It's not typical for Scotch distilleries to do anything over 80 proof. Like that's their common thing over there. But now you've got Diageo bringing stuff over here that are like limited special releases that are 100 plus
right,
proof.
and I wonder if that's not even a market over there. Like,
Right.
I wonder if they don't want anything that
Right. That's why I wonder if like is
They
there
generally don't. They generally want that. Now that we're going to be talking about the classic laddie there, and that's 100 proof. Right. And that brand does 100 proof other things also.
but it makes me curious. Like is there stuff that they produce over there that we don't get and it's a different quality, a higher
gotta be.
quality?
I mean, it's the same with any commodity.
Right.
There's Henry just had a friend over. They're from Japan, and he's all about Japanese things. But they've been in America for a couple years now. But they brought over this whole bag of Japanese type goodies and things.
Yeah.
And what's funny is like for Henry looking at that, it's like, wow, this stuff's so different. It's unique and everything. But for her looking at it, it would be no different than all the stuff we're used to. But when she sees the stuff we have here in America, it's like completely the opposite. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a hard concept for us to get because we're so used to having like what we would consider boring stuff, but for them it's not, and vice versa. Like Henry thought it was so cool. He got all these different things from Japan, and they actually have like we tried blueberry flavored marshmallows. Yeah, which are actually very good.
That's fun.
We just don't have that kind of stuff in America. Like I don't think there's a market for it, you know. Right. But there is, you know. So, but so I got to think that whiskey's no different.
Right. Yeah. And also there has to be a bigger market to deal with it. So like if this bottle was here, it would probably be an $80 bottle. Because I mean the cost of shipping it, the cost of taxes,
and what you could get out of it, you can always squeeze more.
Right.
But I feel like it would compete with Glenlivet very well.
Oh, I mean, it would.
Yeah. It would be a Speyside I'd seek after.
This is better than. I mean, I like this better than Glenlivet.
Yeah,
Glenfiddich.
I feel like they're very different. Speyside. Yeah, because everyone else is like they maybe have floral notes or like fruity notes, but they're very light. Like they're in the background. This is at the forefront.
Like finished bottles and whatnot too.
Yeah.
But this one isn't. It's just just a straight. It's a single malt, but I can't think of another Speyside right now that I like as much as this. That is not finished or not this or that or like special edition or whatever. But out of the ones we have that are on the shelf that are Speysides, I think this one is up there, if not better than what we currently have available. Which is surprising that it hasn't really come in the U.S. if that's the case.
Maybe they're just trying to keep it for Johnnie Walker.
Yeah, they may not distribute as much because of that.
If they're doing well enough on the sales, just keep it the way it is. But it's good.
And also, because we're in Ohio, there's probably lots of scotches that are available in the States that we just don't have because we're in Ohio.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, because there's not a ton of scotches.
I've never seen that before.
In Ohio.
Yeah. Ohio regulates what happened with what
they don't see a need for scotch in Ohio.
No, they do not.
It's sad.
They really, really wanted people to like Irish though last year.
Oh, absolutely.
They really wanted that.
There was a lot of different Irish on the show.
There was a big push for Irish last year.
I wonder how it did.
And they're all on the last call shelf.
Yeah,
it backfired.
I was going to say they're all last call shelf now.
Yeah.
If you want some cheap Irish, go get it.
Go get there. It is there for you, and it's heavily discounted,
like 28% off or
right.
something. You know, this bottle actually looks so much better not in the box.
Yeah, I agree. This is a really pretty bottle. Kind of the curve in the middle there.
Yeah. It's got more of a unique shape to it.
The box makes you think you're going to get a kind of a standard Scotch bottle
it's
look.
A squat kind of old school. You know, it looks more like a rum bottle.
It does.
Than it does a Scotch bottle. Like it would be perfect on board a ship. Yeah. An old sail ship. An old pirate ship.
And the red is nice too. The red color.
Yeah, I like the box, but I just think the bottle's better.
On the bottle too, just that red color for the label.
I saw one other bottle. The problem is not having a lot of room in the suitcase and not wanting to push the weight limit. So this is the only bottle I brought back. But I did see in one other place a different Cardhu that might have been 14 years or 16 years.
If you're worried about weight, you could always just open the bottle there and finish it before. Sure. Get you ready for the plane, you know?
That's true. But then you would not be having this wonderful experience right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Yes. You can always ship the clothes over, you know?
Right.
You can't ship the bottle. You can always ship clothes. I would say all in all, this is a fantastic bottle.
Great bottle.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, sir.
No problem. I'm glad you guys liked it.
Experienced it if it wasn't for your trip to El Camino.
I keep thinking of the car.
Well, it's the same thing.
I love the El Camino car.
The car was named after the thing.
Yeah, the Camino.
The Camino. El Camino. Yeah.
I love when people say that's the El Camino.
Yeah.
No, the Camino.
The Camino.
Yeah.
The
That is one of my favorite cars. I really like the El Camino. And they've like
You can't not do it. You can't not do it. I do too. It's a truck and a car.
Yeah,
all built into one.
And other people have tried it. It's kind of come back a few different times. The Baja by Subaru wasn't bad. Like that was a close. And now there's the Hyundai makes something that's like a car truck deal.
They ought to just come back out with the
Santa
Camino.
Cruz is what it's called. But yeah, but El Camino is the only one.
Who made El Camino?
Chevy.
Is it Travelers? Is that what he's a saint of? Patron saint for travelers, kind of like travelers. Why
Gosh,
they named the El Camino the El Camino?
I don't recall right offhand. I mean, definitely for
The
people.
road. That's what it means.
Yeah,
the road.
yeah, the road.
Camino
What
means
is
the
he
road,
the
but
saint of? It's not travelers.
The
because
road.
Saint Christopher's is the traveler saint. Isn't it?
yeah,
Technically.
I probably a couple of things, but I actually don't know. But I mean,
St. Nicholas's
definitely,
gifts.
definitely the patron saint of the Camino itself. Yeah.
That particular road, all his.
Yeah, he's all over that. Yep, you see him multiple times.
Yeah.
At stops along the way. So,
All right. Well, gents.
Till next time.
Until next time.
buen camino.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. If you want more great content and other perks, be sure to support the show by clicking the link in the show notes. We can be reached on our website, whiskeychaserspod.com, with any ideas for the show. Thanks again.